Hey folks, how's it going? So if this is our first time meeting, hello, my name is Jay. Nice to meet you. On this channel, we do speaker reviews, amplifier reviews, hi-fi component reviews, and most importantly, music and audio is our passion on this channel. So if you are sharing similar type of passion, if you are passionate about music and audio quality, then please feel free to subscribe and like this video. If you like this video, that helps us a lot. So by liking the video, you are helping us. So I thank you very much if you do that. Now, if this is not your first time meeting and you've seen this face somewhere before, then I thank you very much for coming back. Thank you for being a supporter, being a subscriber. And so we will get down to our topic now without my rambling. Now, these speakers are very interesting. There's no doubt about that. The first time I looked at this speaker, I was like, this is interesting. So I made a few community posts and Facebook posts, and everyone is very much excited about this speaker and kind of prolonging this review for so long because I was enjoying the shit out of them. Now these speakers, my friends, are a coaxial design, as you can see. So what coaxial means is that there's a speaker within a speaker. So much like a car audio, you've seen, if you listen to car audio, the chances are that you're listening to coaxial designs. And you've seen it in KEF speakers. KEF LS50 is a coaxial design. And then you have this horn-loaded tweeter, which you've seen in like triangle speakers or clip speakers. Not exactly the same design, but like horn designs. Horn designs like this, horn, right? So this means that this is somewhat of a coaxial design hybrid with a horn design, kind of. And I say that because this is more or so what you're gonna get in terms of its sound, which we will talk about later in this video. But it's going to be a very much a marrying between a KEF coaxial kind of design with somewhat of a horn design. Now we'll get into that. But first, let's take a look at the speaker design and stuff like that. So the speaker we have here is the Sound Artist SC8B. And when I look online on AliExpress, it's just about under $1,000. But on the website that I'm linking right now, they have it at $560. So, there's shipping and stuff like that. So we'll put that into context and have these reviewed around, $700? That's give or take. But regardless of the price point, I think this is a very interesting design and something that I would personally keep for myself, no doubt. Now here we have a design, the cabinetry design is very interesting because I'm not sure if this is MDF or anything like that, because I'm going to link in the description below or in the comment section below after I get the information if this is MDF or what kind of material this is, because I haven't received a response yet. But just by looking at it, it is very much a different design than traditional MDF veneer designs. It's almost as if someone actually finished this by hand. So the craftsmanship is there. The looks are there, at least in my opinion. It looks fabulous. And it comes off with this grill that is very sexy looking if you don't like the look of the drivers. I personally love the look of the drivers. Now here, this woofer is a paper woofer. It is an 8-inch woofer, and they're paper. And I love paper woofers. Like I said in the triangle speaker review and many of my reviews, woofer should be made in paper. Now, so this woofer is a mid and low frequency woofer, and the high frequency is handled by the horn-loaded tweeter. So overall, this is like a kind of square, big speaker, much like you see in the Tannoy speakers or other vintage type of speaker. You definitely get that kind of vintage vibe from the speakers. Now, this is a 8-ohm speaker at 90 dB efficiency, so they are quite efficient. You can drive these with tubes, 8-watt tube amplifiers and whatnot, and they will sound fantastic. Now, getting into the actual sound quality of things, the high frequency on this is quite interesting. The high frequency is going to be a lively presentation overall because they are a hone-loaded design, much like the Klipsch RP600M. And I'm going to put that speaker into context because that's something you guys are familiar with. The Klipsch speakers are more of a brighter and a livelier presentation than these speakers. Now, of course, you have to set these right to make it sound the way I'm talking about. So I'm going to talk about setting these up properly in this video, but later on. So the high frequency is going to be slightly less brighter, slightly less livelier than the Klipsch RP600M, but you're still gonna get that kind of rock and roll concert type of experience. You're gonna get shimmers, you're gonna get beautiful, lively, high-end extension with a lot of sparkle and a lot of detail and expression in the high frequency. So when you go to the mid frequencies, the mid frequency is going to have a slight warmer tone to everything. So the instrumentals, the music, the vocals, it's going to be a little bit more warmer in the mid-range. So that adds very well to the high-end extension because now you have like a warmish sound with great high-end frequency extension. And that is just fabulous because that marries so well together. Now, moving on to the lower frequency. The lower frequency is going to be rated at 30 Hertz, all the way down to 30 Hertz. And you definitely hear that on these speakers. At first, I was very skeptical, but the way you hear the 30 Hertz down to 30 Hertz on these speakers is a different way from other traditional speakers. Now, for example, the ELAC reference or even the Triangle Borea line is going to have a little bit of that typical mid-range, mid-bass energy to help with the bass presentation to kind of make it seem like there's a fuller bass. This is not gonna do that. This won't have that kind of warm or over-exaggerated mid-bass energy. Instead, it's going to have a very much linear, I would say, extension down to the 30 Hertz region. So you're gonna feel the low-end frequencies. So much like the aspect I've talked about in Gershwin speakers, it's going to be a clean response down to 30 Hertz. You're gonna feel all the bass and you're gonna hear all the bass, but nothing is exaggerated within that bass region. So what you end up hearing or getting out of these speakers in terms of bass is going to be a very clean presentation, but a full and pressurizing presentation overall. Now that does not sound like a typical speaker you see in the normal day and age in our market. And you're absolutely right. This is a fantastic speaker that you will definitely kind of bob your head when you listen to it. It is definitely a different presentation from what you and I are used to. Now, in terms of soundstage and imaging, it is very much the same thing. It is going to be different from other speakers. So in terms of soundstage and imaging, it's going to throw a soundstage further back from your traditional bookshelf speaker. So with other speakers like the ELAC reference or the Triangle, you're going to find that the soundstage or imaging is thrown around the front, just in the front of these speakers, while these actually throw it a little bit farther back. So you get kind of more of a concert or venue type of experience, much like the Magnepans. Now this speaker doesn't do that to that extent, but it still will perform kind of like that venue type, lively concert type of experience. And when you play a live recording, like I listened to Yazoo, and this is a track that I listened to a lot on speakers, and it was a fabulous experience, especially on the speaker experience. I was experiencing it, I was living it. When I played anything live recordings sounded incredibly realistic and incredibly engaging with these speakers. And what's best is that you play any type of music through these speakers, even if it's not recorded live, it will perform as if it is a live recording. Now, it may not be completely like a live recording, but it's going to get fairly close. And I cannot express how good these speakers are with live recordings. With live recordings, not only do they make normal recordings sound more so like live recordings and like a concert experience, but when you play live recordings, real live recordings on these speakers, it is just another whole different story. It is an absolute delight and fabulous sound staging and imaging and holographic 3D soundstage you're gonna get out of these are just fantastic, just absolutely glorious. Now getting into the placement of these speakers, which is pretty vital. When you place these out into the room, that's how you want it, and rather closer to the back wall than your traditional design. And that's how I had it set up. When I have these speakers tilted towards me, it gets just a tad bit too bright for my liking. So I had them tilted out towards the room, and this actually opens up the soundstage more, which is a plus. And paired up with a tube amplifier like the Wilsonton, it is just a fabulous experience with that tube magic going on. The instruments, the guitars, the saxophone and drums, and these are instruments that I play, sound just realistic. Just the string, the leading edge, and the ending decay of these instruments are just sounding absolutely like the real thing. And that's what really got me. The tonality of these speakers are also very excellent. Now, in terms of amplification and pairing, these are going to be be decent with mostly everything. They're quite efficient for you to drive it with Class D amplifiers, as well as tube amplifiers. Now, my favorite pairing is, of course, the tube amplifier, and I use the Wilsonton, which comes from the same website that I'm linking in the description below for these speakers. And that review is coming out very soon, so I won't get into too much about the tube amplifier. But married with these speakers, they sound absolutely fantastic, synergistic-wise. And when they sent me the tube amplifier with these speakers, I think they knew that. They knew that they matched quite well. Now, talking about other pairings, I paired it up with the First Watt, Parasound, and Hagel. Now, my favorite pairing was First Watt. It sounded excellent with these speakers, but honestly speaking, anything should sound pretty darn good with these speakers. The only thing that I will stay away from is pairing these speakers to brighter components. If you pair these with something that is a little bit brighter, you're gonna find it to be overall brighter in presentation because these speakers are already lively to begin with. So that's my suggestion. All in all, I definitely urge you to try tubes with this speaker because that's what it really shines when you pair horns with tubes. Now, what about low and high listening in terms of volume? Well, in low listening, you're gonna get somewhat of the same thing. These are fantastic for low listening as well. And in higher volumes, that's when it becomes a little bit of a problem, actually. In the higher volumes, depending on how loud you like your music, if you put these, just blasting really, really loud, right? So there's mid and whatever is loud to you. If you go past, the loud and want to crank these up extra loud, then it's gonna get bright. It's just a horn design. It's going to become bright if you crank these up to an extreme. But other than that, these are gonna play fantastic even at low volumes or even at normal listening volumes. They're gonna sound pretty darn similar and fantastic. Now their off-axis response is going to be pretty darn good as well. So what is the caveat? What is the catch here? Well, with a speaker design like this, you're not gonna get as of a good imaging compared to a traditional bookshelf speaker like the ELAC Reference or the Triangle Borea line or any other bookshelf speakers for that matter. You're not gonna get that kind of imaging or perfect separation that those speakers provide. These are going to be more like a 3D holographic representation of everything. However, I will say that these are better at imaging and pinpoint imaging and separation and all those things, better than the Klipsch RP600M or other horn-loaded designs that I've encountered in the past. And so that is going to be the strong point of this speaker design that kind of marries between a coaxial design and a horn design. So that is what I have to say about these speakers. I just had a fantastic time with these speakers. They sound exceptionally good for the value, and I would highly encourage you to check them out. So that's pretty much it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys on the next one.